Welcome to the at-home edition of Rocket League Central. I'm Brody LeafXmore, and we've got everything you need to stay informed on Rocket League. On today's show, we'll be running down the South American Major for the winter split in Grid Watch. Double Tap has a showcase on Fairy Peak, and of course, we've got all the community-made stuff you need in Breakout. First up in the news is the Ford F-150. That's right, this isn't a car show, this is Rocket League, and the Ford F-150 is being entered into the game as a playable vehicle. To coincide with that, Ford and Psyonix are running a freestyle competition to win a 2021 Ford F-150. Like the actual, not the in-game one, the actual truck. So get practicing your aerials and your freestyles. That'll be on the Rocket League channel on the 24th and 25th of February, so if you want to see that, then head on over there. But let's get the show moving on here to another important competition. It's the RLCS Winter Split South American Major. We got all the highlights here in Grid Watch.
The RLCS Season X Winter Split South American Major has come to a close, and the result may surprise you. Underdogs persevered to leave the top contenders in the dust in one of Season X's most impressive comebacks thus far. One could argue that the major truly began when Novus AV toppled Noble Esports in the winners semifinals, knocking one of the prospective winners of the tournament to the lower bracket earlier than expected. Novus AV, the former fall split runners-up 11's Esports, performed well earlier in the winter split, but their inconsistent performance in the latter stages made some write them off in the major. However, their dominant 4-1 performance against Noble turned heads, asserting the unsponsored team's claim to the regional crown.
The bump from Tander still crashed in the net. Tander has been doing that this entire game. We barely saw it at the beginning of the series, but he's ramped it up in terms of demos.
Now Kaio comes up here again, gets under it, but Renan picks up the next save. Tander just trying to keep the ball locked here forever. Card shot right over Firefox. Renan diving. No one is near the ball. Habercamper diving now, and it's just nothing for Noble. Habercamper, he comes out of the scrap pile. Renan can't get the ball, and Novus take them down. They move on in the upper bracket.
Their path to glory hit an immediate detour, however, as Novus AV were mercilessly swatted down in the Winter's Finals by True Neutral. The regional point leaders triumphed in a 4-2 set, which, coming off a clean sweep against fellow top 3 team Rebel, made it clear that they weren't messing around.
And there, Raise Bull in position to get the touch. Another win at midfield. The midfield game has been much better for True Neutral. In the past, they've been struggling to break out of their own third, but this time they've taken some bold plays at the midfield, gone for it, and have had that speed to break down that attack. And the final seconds tick away. We've got to see a goal here.
Something.
And that is gonna do it. Despite the heroic attempt from Novus, True Neutral will close the series out, and they're moving on to the grand final.
Novus would have to pull off a big win in the lower finals for another shot at taking the True Neutral team down. And their opponent would be Rebel, their season-long point rivals, and the team who had just knocked Noble out of the tournament. While it was a difficult match with both sides pulling off decisive wins, Novus eventually clinched it 4-2 in a runaway game.
They cannot find a way to win this one right now.
The defense is too well layered from Novus. I mean, they really are making sure play deep, don't give up anything stupid, and they're not going to beat us. And look, here's another one. Unless he missed. I think he missed.
It is just a little bit wide, but at this point, it doesn't matter. 4 seconds left on the clock and a 3-goal lead. You see the players just piling up in the midfield. The game is over. Novus fight back 6 games straight.
Novus' dreams hinged on their victory in a rematch with True Neutral. When the first game of the Grand Finals ended in True Neutral's favor, it looked as though history would repeat, with the season-long favorites predictably taking the crown. But to everyone's shock, Novus turned it around, and hard. Coming out on top in a series of extremely close games, the underdogs reset the bracket, putting them just one short set away from winning it all.
Yes, I'm so confused. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so 20 seconds. Yeah, but it is bracket reset, right? I'm off. Yes, next. We are looking at it. We're looking at the possibility of bracket reset. The guys from True Neutral, they have only a few seconds here to do a miracle of getting 2 goals, which I don't think is going to happen. Not with this amount of time. And once the ball touches the ground, yep, they have done it. They have done it. Novus AV.
Refusing to end a dominant season with a loss, True Neutral dug their heels in and went all out in the subsequent set, winning 3 out of the first 4 games in the final match. Under immense pressure, Novus seemed to gain a second wind, pulling off 3 miraculous wins in a row to claim their prize in true underdog style.
Viene Cayo, ahora hace lo mismo por su parte. Tander tenía la oportunidad de disparo, pero no la pudo aprovechar. Ahora que sale fuerte el despeje. Card la mantiene en el medio. ¿Quién va a ir por ella? Es Chad, le da el toque bastante fuerte. Últimos 2 segundos del encuentro. Abajo True Neutral. Los chicos de Novus AV tienen que mantener la ventaja si quieren ganar este partido. Hacen el despeje, la logran enviar hacia atrás. Chad ahora tiene que jugarla fuerte, empujar ese balón. Que no toque suelo. Y sí tocó suelo. This is all over, ladies and gentlemen. Novus AV was able to control the match, was able to get just 2 goals, but that's all they needed.
2 regional majors are complete, with 2 still remaining. Who will the North American and European champions be, and how will they stack up to other regions' reigning victors? Stay tuned to the RLCS to find out.
And now joining me on the line is South American RLCS caster Chamaco, and he's like infinitely more talented because he knows 2 languages. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, but that knowing 2 languages doesn't make you infinitely better. No, it doesn't work like that. No,
but it's you can cast in both, man. Like you did some English casting, some Spanish casting. That's impressive. That's that's a good thing to have on your resume. Speaking of, you got to cast the finals there. First off, how was casting the finals there for that? Because that was hype.
it's a unique. It's challenging, to be honest. It's nerve-wracking. One thing is to be as an analyst on the desk with you guys, and you make jokes, and it's fun. But I don't have to speak really fast. Once I do casting, my style is to put hype and a lot of energy. That's how I do it. I don't know any other way of doing it. Maybe I can do it some other way, but I like to do it very fast and with a lot of energy. And speaking in English like that is very challenging. It's very difficult, and I need to practice a lot more, to be honest.
Well, yeah, you guys got to do the Spanish because those finals of that South American major went the distance, man. It was Game 6 for the bracket reset, and then it went into Game 7 during that final set there, that best of 7. How was it to be able to finally let loose and do the Spanish cast?
It's about the only time I actually want a series to go to Game 7. So I can do it in Spanish and let people feel what I'm trying to showcase because it's so much easier for me. I can put the energy in there. I can make you feel the same thing I'm feeling when I'm watching these guys play because I love it. I really enjoy watching them play, so I want to transmit the same energy I'm getting from the players to the audience, and that was the only time I can actually do it 100%.
Even in English, you guys, you and Dex did a fantastic job, so definitely pat yourselves on the back. But yeah, let's talk about the South American region because it's been around for obviously a long time, but in the RLCS it's relatively new, and we've seen them go through some changes, get better and better, and that scene's been developing so fast in my opinion compared to a lot of the other regions. And the meta for a while there that we were seeing was just super aggressive play, and I feel like that somehow translates in every esport from South America. You just see crazy stuff coming out from South American teams, and that's true in Rocket League as well. Has that changed at all? Are we seeing teams? I know some were starting to work on defense. What's the landscape of the meta in South America really looking like right now?
I think one player from EU said the meta is ball chasing, right? I think someone mentioned that, and it's been the meta on South America for a long time. But yes, I mean they do have to evolve. You cannot be ball chasing like crazy the whole time. You gotta be smart about it, and obviously, if you ball chase a lot, then there's gonna be some gaps in the defense. And obviously, the top players are aware of that. They watch replays from some other regions. When I talk to them, that's what they tell me. So they're working on that. There used to be a time where they didn't have any coaches, so they were doing everything by themselves. But now most top teams, they have coaches. They have people that help them. So it is evolving little by little.
That is a fair statement. They're just side flipping the whole day through. You're ball chasing, but on the ground. Let's talk about the winners. Novus AV. This was, in my opinion, a bit of a surprise. Not super surprise. We always knew this team was good and can take down those top dogs like a True Neutral. But coming into the tournament, True Neutral were the favorites. So Novus AV having to go through a bracket reset after dropping down to a loss from True Neutral. Did you think they had in them what it took to take down True Neutral in a bracket reset?
I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. The thing is, True Neutral was looking like gods on day one. On day one, I mean, you saw the way they took Rebel. I was so surprised. I was so impressed with the mechanics that they were showing. But that's not sustainable. You know, they were not going to play that way the whole time. I was impressed they even did it for 4 games. So it's very easy for some of these players to have a really good game or maybe really 2 solid games, but do it throughout the whole series. That's not as easy. And the thing about Novus AV is that they're very consistent. They are very consistent. They keep a high pace, their mechanics most of the time.
Really cool to see. It was really great to hang out, watch some great South American Rocket League this weekend with you, Chamaco. Thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully we'll get to have you on soon.
How many times has he tried to deliver that for either Caveman Ben or Requiem? He'll take anybody to be available. Even right there, a nice little pop to Requiem, and he scores! Beautiful pass from Fever. Well, 7, 8, 9, 10 stacks. 8 specifically, but 1 pass from Fever is all he needed after 7 grueling minutes of overtime. Runs through a Direwolves player, or rather he ran into Caveman Ben and a couple of demos.
Zen was going for the demo there, by the way.
Absolutely.
He's the one who got taken out. Oh, Misty, hello! That's the goal that the Direwolves needed, as that should, in theory, put this game out of reach. Look at this double.
Accuracy. This is cringe society. What they do best, the punishment, but somehow against Ground Zero, they're missing that element.
And Airfits! Oh my goodness, we see a missed open net, and then we see this beauty of a goal. Oh my goodness!
There it is. It's set up for Torsos. It is, but Wolcott already there, and Torsos far in the back. He'll now come up from the fight. Gets it through 1. Gets it to the side. All 3 players. He absolutely rinsed them.
I mean, this is the power of speed. When he jumps at that ball from the midfield line, you're thinking, oh, he's going to go for this air dribble or maybe a strong shot towards the top of the net, and then he lands on the floor, but he's still going with power. Getting creative there in the corner. They're trying to see if they can get that defense to bite early on something. Get caught out of position. There's Jules Spidos diving across out of the corner, able to make the save, and a nice long clear will vent the air for Riot. And a demo on the goal line just to try and make it 2. Wolcott has something. And make it 3, and Drippe made it. You're kidding. What? He got 3 demos, and Drippe, the last man alive.
Spidoge off the backboard will get the bounce. Rebound out to Wolcott hammers that in. The rebound opportunity. Wow. Wolcott, he has been key.
I swear to goodness that everyone's getting better and better every week in Hot Shots, while I am progressively getting worse. So share some of that skill with me. Thank you very much. But we're moving on to quite the opposite here. Usually it is all about the memes here in the breakout, but today we're showcasing some more sick shots and of course some really cool content made by the community. First up, I'm just gonna straight up advertise Rocket Sledge's YouTube because this is really cool. He's making another Rocket League air show. please definitely go check out my man's Rocket Sledge on YouTube, and go check out that 2020 air show while you're at it, because it was cool and because I was one of the judges, so it's extra cool. Right, well, moving on. We're gonna go to Sylvie on PC, who gives us this observation of new players. And this is fairly accurate because they now have the tools. In all honesty, it's a meme and it's funny, and you see a bunch of like these silver players just going for aerials they can't hit and sucking at every other aspect of the game, but new players are always going to be like that. At least they're attempting aerials. I didn't even try aerials for the first like 3 months of playing the game, so it's fair. I think it's fair. Moving on, Car Soccer Connoisseur tries something a little unorthodox, and it definitely seems unorthodox as you're going towards your own net until, you know, you score on the other side. There's no way you try that on purpose, but that looks so intentional. This was almost in a weekly backfire if that was an own goal must-see double tap, but into that launch, that was beautiful. Anyways, we have to move on. Do we have an alarm for new flick alert? New flick alert! It seems that Fearsome Fluffy has set off the alert. I'm gonna be real, I've looked at that for a few times in a row to see how viable it actually is. You may be able to pull it off, although I don't know if you're allowed to name it after yourself. I feel like someone else has to do that, so jury's still out on that one. But finally, RL Mashups decided to find out what the bastard child of an Octane and a Fennec would look like. Oh man, that makes me feel sick. I don't know, man. It looks like a high heel shoe. Like, good work, you know, I guess. But I don't know how this makes me feel weird inside, man. All right, can we please move on? Because like I'm over this. Let's get on to Double Tap, where we're showcasing the brilliant Fairy Peak. Europe is home to many top-level Rocket League players, but few demonstrate peak skill quite like Victor Fairy Peak Locquet. Fairy Peak got into esports through competitive Pokemon battling, specifically in the 6th generation of mainline games. And by his own admission, he was pretty good at it too. There was only one problem. Competitive Pokemon doesn't offer big prize pools unless you're playing the card game or doubles, a format Fairy didn't personally care for. Thus, a pro career wasn't sustainable, putting his dreams of esports stardom on hold. Fortunately, another game came along in 2015. A free PS4 game called Rocket League, which Fairy Peak dove into headfirst upon its release. Inspired by legends like Kronovi and Cooksier, Fairy was determined to rise to their level and meet them on the world stage someday. Though he unfortunately failed to qualify for Season 2 of the fledgling Rocket League Championship Series, his shot came the following season, when Fairy joined up with K-Dop and Mystic to form Rocket Esports. Their explosive potential was immediately evident, as the team surged to first place in the European regional stage of Season 3, securing themselves a place at the World Finals.
Breaks it up, gets boost again, and just comes right back in. He is all over the field this match.
They slow it down on the kickoff, just trying to burn the time down. Flipside playing, trying to get the win here, but as the clock ticks down, Mocket will kill the ball. It'll hit 0 seconds. You can't score 2. Mocket will take the title from Flipside, your European champions for Season 3, and the first seed heading in to Hollywood.
Mocket couldn't be stopped, advancing through the upper bracket unimpeded all the way over to the grand finals. But just when it looked as though Fairy Peak would emerge from his first ever RLCS as champion, disaster struck. Northern Gaming made a shocking comeback from lowers and reset the bracket, putting Mocket on the verge of elimination. They struck back hard, but at the end of a nail-biting seesaw match, Northern Gaming emerged victorious.
They're just clearing it over and over again, up and into the back. 17 seconds left here for Mocket. They need this so desperately to get out of their half. Fairy Peak gets it over the top, but there's Remco shutting it down. The final countdown of the final game of the World Series here. Devo to try and put it through, cannot make contact. Remco to shut it down, will it touch? Fairy Peak carries it high. One goal can still tie the game, but Devo will let it touch, and Northern Gaming has done it when they could not for the last 2 seasons. The world champion here in Los Angeles.
Before they had another shot at the title, the Dream Team was disbanded, with K-Dop departing for Gale Force Esports, and going on to win Season 4, with Fairy and Mocket qualifying but placing 7th. Fairy Peak was picked up by Renault Vitality shortly after, and continued to place well in the regional stage despite rarely seeing notable results at the LAN. However, in 2018, a miracle occurred. K-Dop was brought on board Vitality as well, reuniting the Locquet pair. Together with prodigal rookie Scrubkilla, the team easily secured top seed at the Season 7 World Championship, putting the dynamic duo on the world stage yet again.
Scrub has the save out to the back wall. K-Dop catches, makes Bluey miss, trying to fight Devo for the ball. Back gets to Fairy Peak and is denied by Devo. Barcelona's goaltending has kept them alive in game number 6. Alpha, it's not the best touch. The demo opens the net. K-Dop strikes, and Vitality are your European regional champions.
And how fitting that it's K-Dop, the player that changed Vitality for the better. They came in expecting a battle, and that is exactly what they got.
The squad streak continued at LAN, eventually putting them in the finals after just a single loss to G2 during the group phase. Their same team who would prove to be their ultimate opponents. Ferry & Co. fought hard, and in the end delivered him the championship he had been gunning for since day one.
He shot just one. Fairy Peak scores. Vitality take game 1.
But his legacy doesn't end there. In addition to continued impressive performances in seasons 8 and 9, Ferry also achieved the world record for most goals scored in a single RLCS game in March of 2020, proving he still has what it takes even years after taking home the trophy. Though he's experienced many highs and lows, Ferry certainly has yet to reach his peak. It's honestly really impressive how Fairy Peak's not only one of the best threes players in the world, but one of the best ones players in the world. A lot of times players have those skills in ones, but find it very difficult to translate that over to threes because it's not just you anymore, you're working other people. So the fact that he's maintained one of the top spots as one of the best players in the world still to this day is extremely impressive, and he should be very proud of himself. But thank you guys so much for watching. That's all the time we have for today. Make sure to check out our content on YouTube as well, and on Twitter at WatchRLC. But to send you guys out for a little overtime, here is your weekly Backfire.
Bum 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 bum.